So I travel about 100 miles, every Monday and Friday to go to Crown Point to work, and then I come back on the weekends. Because this is where I'm from. I'm from Shiprock. So, I was doing my laundry across the road, and I saw all the cars, so I said, hey, I gotta see what's going on, because it's always interesting to see what's going on. And I came in here, and they were talking about the coal plant. And, I always, every morning I see this on Monday morning, the yellow haze. It's one of the things that I see every morning. And, it's from our power plant. However, when I go down to Johnson City, I don't see that yellow haze. We have an opportunity now to actually do something rather than just complain. Most of the time we feel like we're at the mercy of forces greater than us, but we have an opportunity to do something now. The biggest pro that I can think about, I listen to everybody's stuff in between moving my clothes from the washer to the dryer, and I listen to everything that the folks are saying, and there's a lot of good points brought up here. We're a community. Down here at the intersection it says we are Shiprock, we are proud. That's our kids. And and there's no other community like Shiprock. But the biggest thing is the jobs. That's what I see as the biggest pro for this potential purchase. Beyond that, the negatives, the pollution. That's the biggest thing. I have asthma because I grew up here. I read an article that said, I think it was in Newsweek a couple of years ago, said our air is the same as Los Angeles. Our air quality is as poor as the air in Los Angeles. We have an opportunity to do something about that. We have an opportunity to do something about the yellow haze. We don't have to just sit there and, let our children, let our grandchildren breathe it. There's something we can do about it. There's air pollution. I heard about air pollution. I heard about water pollution. I heard about solid waste, noise pollution. Think about this until 2031. That's how long the power plant's planning to be open. The gal that spoke to two people before me, she said that we could be creative. And that's really what I want to challenge us to be, as creative. We don't have to do the same old thing. We don't have to, just accept the coal-powered, power plant. We don't have to accept it the way it is. We can make it better. We can make it better than what it is. We don't have to accept the yellow haze that we have to see every morning. We don't have to drive through it every morning. Another person brought up Central Consolidated Schools. I think he's split now, but he said, oh, there's money that comes to the Central Consolidated Schools. My daughter goes to Central Consolidated Schools. I went to Central Consolidated Schools. My husband teaches for them. He's an art teacher. How many of you guys are artists? Raise your hands. How many of you guys have children that are artists? Raise your hands. How many of you sell jewelry? He's an art teacher, and he teaches at 5 different schools now. A lot. We go to the flea market, and it's not really underground, but our undocumented economy is largely driven by artists. That's what we're famous for. We're famous for our rugs. We're famous for our art. We're famous for our jewelry. Yet, this funding that supposedly comes from Central Consolidated School, it can't support what our children do best, which is art. It can't support it. We're being, told that, there's a lot of benefit from this, that it's from schools, programs. That's true. But really, how much is it supporting our communities? How much is it, supporting our people, the greater population of Shiprock? I don't work for the mine. I don't have anybody in my family that works for the mine. So we have an opportunity now to do something different, to change. I'm not sure if I support the purchase or not. I would support it if we could make it better. I would support it if our leaders, could step up and, install scrubbers on that thing to make, so that I don't have to look at the yellow air. Every time I drive to Crown Point, I would support it if that was, the case. I would support it if, our leaders, when they take over, would help the gal with the sheep. Thank you for telling us those stories. Those are things we don't hear. But I'm not sure if I support it. It's some jobs. And when I was working for the Indian Health Service, I was an environmental health specialist. And I went around and I saw people, you know, and you ask them, what will make our communities better? And their number one answer is always economic development. Economic development. But the power plant's been here for, what, 50 years? Is that what I heard earlier? I mean, how much economic development has it? Hasn't solved all of our problems. You know, it's been here for 50 years. You know, it does benefit, what somebody else said, 1,000 people? You know, but there's 300,000 of us Navajos. 300,000 of us. You know, I mean, just, you know, look at the numbers. It needs to benefit all of us. We need, the rest of us that aren't working there need to not be put upon. We need to not breathe the yellow air that's as bad as the air in Los Angeles. You know, it needs to benefit all of us. And that's all I have to say.